I'm a huge fan of Eric O.
I have tried every method known to man. God, trust me, folks, this is a tried and true method that I've used.
But he was wrong. Eric O, I didn't have to do your welding thing. So if you're watching this video, you are probably about to try to remove the wheel bearing for... trying to remove the wheel bearing on a Subaru product. This here is a 2012. So there's many different methods. You have the sledgehammer method, or you just beat the heck out of it. There is the, I forget the name, but the big wallop bar that you just smash. You put it on the hub, it sticks out, and you smash that with the sledgehammer, and the lever action cranks that off. There is the method from Eric O at South Main Garage, where he welds some bolts right to the old hub, and then, welds some nuts to the old hub and uses another bolt to basically pinch it off. And then there's another video from, I forget who it is, and this guy had a very unique way of doing it. So let's just get down to the hub itself. I would like to not have to take the brake stuff off. So to do Eric O's method, I gotta take all the brake stuff off because you weld those nuts kind of up there. And to do the other guy's method, I just need to remove one of the studs and cut it out so that I can put a bolt in the other direction into there. All right, so the wheel and brake and all that stuff is off. So let's get a look back here. So we got 4 bolts, 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Pretty rusty. Okay, so this is gonna be a little spoiler alert. I'm just gonna cut to the chase, tell you exactly what worked before the end of the video. So what worked for me finally at the end was that MikeGuyver's method. So I'm not going to explain it all. You can go watch the video. It's down in the description. But essentially, the key is, and this is already off, in the knuckle, in these pass-through holes, let me get you in here. In these pass-through holes, here, or here, or here, there's 4. You need to thread the backside so that you can put a bolt or something and basically block that pass-through hole. And in the video, Mike explains exactly what you need to do. So, but the lesson learned is, in his video, he calls for a M14 1.25 pitch bolt. And I'm not sure why, but you definitely need an M14 because to tap these pass-through holes, you need an M14 for the diameter. As far as the pitch goes, if you are going to buy a new tap for this and you don't have one, I would recommend a more common thread pitch, like a M1.75 or an M2. I found in the hardware stores by me a lot more variation, length, and style of bolts. And then the other piece of advice I would give is the style of head. When you put this back here, right there is a hole that a pass-through that I tapped. And when you try to put this hex head in there, what happens is it gets difficult to put a socket on there because this gets in your way. So I would recommend either one that's long enough so your socket doesn't get in the way, or a Allen head so you can get in there and tighten it in. I would also recommend, in his video, he tapped only a part of the way and then stuck some ball bearings in that pass-through to fill the gap. I didn't have ball bearings. I tried some junk, some just small nuts and washers to cram in there. That just wasn't working. I just threaded as far in as I could, and that seemed to just be easier. Then, for this bolt coming through, this is an M12, and again, I would get a super long one that extends out to here, just for ease, so you can screw it in and not have to jerk around trying to get around this hole, and I had some issues. 32 millimeter. Good, the axle's free. This one. Oh, finally. All right, that was much longer than expected. This is my setup. I have my I got another bolt and I threaded it so I have one back there, one up there as the backing, and then I got two longer bolts with longer threads to put there and there. So I'm gonna get this set up.
A few moments later.
I'm just gonna start cranking on it. It's hard to see, but it does look like there's a little bit of gap forming. I think it's coming. Yes. Okay. That side is definitely moving. Oh, this is way loose. Oh boy, I think we got it. Hot diggity. Yes. Okay. Oh, baby. Look at that. And I saved, you can't see it, but I saved the speed or the ABS sensor. Woo! Okay. Oh, boom, done. Ah, you didn't even see it. Here's everything you've been missing. Here it is, came off. Yeah, that is it. I want to preference this with, I'm a huge fan of Eric O. And this is not some clickbaity thing, but he was wrong. I gotta say, this is a Subaru, ridiculous. This is Wisconsin, Rust Belt, all that business. Removing the rear hub of this Subaru, and he claimed like the only way to do it was to weld a bunch of big bolts to the old hub and then impact it against the knuckle, and that'll do it. And he specifically said the method that I use, well, that I copied from MikeGuyver, who's of course in the description, that video, how he did it. He said that won't work. And you were just gonna strip, or something was gonna happen, I forget what. But I'm happy to report that his method did work. All right, one last alibi, and that is the ABS sensor. All these videos, they all tell you you have to remove it. I'm telling you, you don't. And basically that sensor, there should be a space between this surface, and that's where that sensor lives. So when you are taking this apart, just be sure not to pull this forward, and because then you will snap that off. That's it.
An eternity later.
Let's see.